That's, I guess, my main sentiment after that one, guys. Just a deep sigh. That one was rough. Uh, Obviously, the Penguins lost. That was 6-1. That seemed bad too, but you could at least point to some bad bounces at the beginning of that one and maybe explain some things. This one, that was just brutal, and it was kind of brutal all the way around. Grubauer, I thought, played a pretty good game. He just kind of got hung out to dry by his defense there. Larson, I thought this was probably his worst game all year, for a couple reasons. I'll get into that later, I guess. But yeah, I mean, bad defense, sloppyish passing, back to the power play struggles. Oh my gosh, I thought we were over that at least. It was rough. It was not pretty. Yeah, that was just a really rough game to watch. Was hoping they'd bounce back after that Pittsburgh one. I was hoping that kind of loss, it would kind of galvanize them. They could come out against Winnipeg, get things going. That was just, that didn't happen. Again, you're surrendering a first goal, dealing with issues there. Like I said, the power play was just brutal, brutal, brutal. 0-for-5 is just not a good look, no matter how you slice it. Even if it's really kind of more so 0-for-4. But wow, that was bad. I'll go ahead and jump into comments here with all of you guys. Hunter, this team is hard to watch at the moment, frustrating all around. This was a hard game to watch, I will say that. Like, there were stretches where the Kraken were playing really well. Like I said, Grubauer, every time he wasn't facing a shot point blank from someone basically unguarded, which again, almost no goalie's going to stop those. If any goalie could stop those. Grubauer played pretty good. I thought Yanni Gourde played okay. Mason Appleton showed up, at least for the first period, against his old team. Gio took about a period to get his, sea legs back under him, but he wasn't awful. It was just, yeah, I mean, there was a couple stretches where the Kraken could do stuff, a couple times where they showed some new looks when they had, a presence in the offensive zone. I'll break those down on the whiteboard a little bit later, but yeah, overall, that was just a tough overall game to watch, and a poor defensive effort. I think that's fair to say. That is for sure. Cameron, oh man, that was just a brutal game to watch. Back to our old power play struggles. Couldn't say it better myself, Cameron. Medeiros, ready for Emerald City Fight Club because the German gentleman played his heart out and we let another team get the first shutout in our barn. You are right there. Obviously, this isn't the first time the Kraken have been shut out. We were shut out by Tampa. What was that, like 2 weeks ago now, I guess? But yes, I mean, German gentleman played well. I thought he played a really good game. He'd be on my 3 stars for the Kraken for this game for sure. Defense just really, hung him out to dry on that one. It's wasn't pretty, that's for sure. Hunter outscored 9-1 in the last 2 games. Yeah, that's the problem. The goals are not there right now, even when they're giving opportunities, right? You had what, over 8 minutes of power play time in this one? That's 8 minutes you should be productive. And I would say maybe a minute and a half seemed productive from them tonight of that 8 minutes, and obviously no goals came from it. And then, yes, 9 goals in the last 2 games. That's, any way you slice it, that one's rough. That is for sure. Greg, ugh. So it seems again that teams are deciding to really attack us when we have the puck, and our guys just kind of freak out and turn the puck over. There is a little bit of, I don't want to say panic, but yes, when especially our forwards are pressured heavily in the offensive zone, it definitely affects their passing. They're not great under fire in that regard, and there are times where they'll send passes into places of the ice that you generally wouldn't want to see them send a pass. So that is a struggle right now. Scott, I'd like to hear JT say something other than Grubauer settled in after the first goal. How about no goals in the first, just once? I'm with you there, Scott. It would be nice to not have to kind of see this continually happen, constantly be playing from behind. That's a rough look, and it's hard on the team. I mean, it's just it's rough. Greg, I'm going Saturday and I'm on a hot streak. Have faith in your boy. That's from Greg. All right, everybody. Greg's got this for us against Columbus. I do think, I think maybe the team took the Penguins game and said, all right, look, we lost, but we had all those bad bounces at the beginning. Let's just put this one behind us, on to the next game. Everything's fine. I think this is a game that then you can't make that excuse. The defense allowed these 3 goals. Not Grubauer, but the defense allowed these 3 goals. They left, certainly Kyle Connor twice. You're just going to leave him all alone in front of the net like that, let him pick his corner? Like, are you kidding me? So I think this one is going to be more of an opportunity for the team to really kind of take a look at themselves and be like, all right, we got to wake up again. However they got out of their funk last time, now's the time to try that one again for sure. Jared, 31 shots at Grubauer, too many. This year's shot totals all around the league have been kind of higher than normal. We've talked about that before. So the 31 shots isn't necessarily excessive. I would certainly like to see the Kraken get more than 25. But again, it's quality of chances, right? All 3 goals were scored just right in front of him by guys basically unguarded. And that's, no goalie's going to stop those. I got no problem if a goalie faces 50 shots from the perimeter that he can see coming in. Doesn't really matter. He's going to stop all of those unless one of them takes a weird bounce. So it's for me anyway, it's more so about the quality of the chances than just the pure volume of it. So yes, I want to see the Kraken kind of, play better defense again after this one. I don't know what happened on this. Hunter, I noticed most of the goals we have given up have been odd man rushes or from defensive turnovers in our own zone. Thoughts? Yeah, so the Penguins game was, obviously you had some fluky bounces, but they're a very aggressive team with their forwards. They're just kind of bum rush you. That's what's going on. Kraken in this one went back to the old school. Defense is going to pinch up, maybe not make the best decision there. Or if you're going to pinch up in the offensive zone as a defenseman, you better get that puck and you better make a play with it, because if you don't, then yes, odds are you get the odd man rush going back the other way. Generally, the one defenseman back did a pretty good job in this game dealing with those kinds of situations. Grubauer handled them well too. But yes, turnovers in their own zone, not being able to get the puck out of their own zone for the Kraken, that was a real struggle in this one. There were times where Winnipeg just had it, and they were just cycling around, taking shots. And by the time the Kraken get it out, it's either they dump it down and take an icing, or they need a line change, and so you can't get any momentum going back the other way if you're the Kraken, because your guys are just gassed from spending, a minute and a half in their own zone, or even, 60 seconds in their own zone. So that's a problem. Yes, the defensive turnovers in this one, what was it, the first goal, I guess, like the puck, Kraken got to walk away with that puck in that corner. It cannot shoot out into the slot there where, Winnipeg's got the only guy. When you have both defensemen kind of go down below the goal line to make plays, one on the puck, the other on the guy that is then next in line to make a play on the puck, one of those two has to make the play there. I understand that was Borgen on the first one. He gets the puck kind of loose and shot out into the corner. Okay, you could say that Borgen did his job there kind of behind the net, and he did. He stuck with his guy back around. But then it was, he was playing with Susie, when that puck goes into the corner, I believe Donato was also back there in the corner. I don't know what happened there, but I'm pretty sure it was one Jet to two Kraken, and somehow the Jet was able to send it out to the slot where there was that uncovered Jet to score that first goal. Kraken got to have that one. If you've got the numbers in the corner, even if you don't have the numbers in the corner, but you just have the Jet, from behind the net that Borgen was covering, just kind of blindly throwing the puck that way, you got to have someone in line to pick that puck off, or certainly to be able to, kind of body up whatever Winnipeg, player is in that corner and take advantage of that one. So that first goal was a really rough play all the way around in that sense. And it was, I don't know that it was specifically a turnover, but it was a misplay, and it's one of those situations where the Kraken defenders, they have to take care of it in that situation. And that includes the forward that was down there. Again, I think it was Donato, but I'm not 100% on that. Superfly, hey guys, really bad game with loads of turnovers. Not a real idea what to do on offense. At least Grubauer was good, but he was hung out to dry by his teammates. Exactly, Superfly. Striatic, is Winnipeg good? You could say that. They've definitely got some good players, that's for sure. Especially up front. Daros, that line, the line groupings when we were injured had so much chemistry, and we just let all that go. Yeah, so we talked about that in the last one. It's hard. You want to see certainly guys like Eberle and Schwartz back in the lineup. Schwartz was really trying to get things going in this one. So I understand, right? Like, you can't always have all that stuff out. Yarncroak, we talked about it, was it not this last podcast, but maybe the one before that? Yarncroak kind of struggling to find his spot on this team, kind of struggling, for me anyway, to figure out exactly how he's going to fit in. He's a very versatile player, got a lot of stuff going on, but I don't know. I haven't quite seen it all come together. I liked him on the power plays in this one. I liked him in the bumpers position. I thought he's a really smart player, and he was able to do things to kind of move the defense around, really opened up passing lanes through the center of the ice there on the power play. Kraken didn't necessarily take advantage of those, but they were at least there in a way that we hadn't seen before. So I liked that from Yarncroak. But again, I don't know where Yarncroak really fits in the grand scheme of things at even strength. So, again, it's tough because you want to have guys like Eberle and Schwartz in there, right? Like two of your top three, I think, scorers point-wise on the team. So you want them in the lineup, but yes, you could definitely say that there was better chemistry before they were back. That is for sure. Reading ID, I'm just a woman standing in front of her hockey team screaming about the power play. I'm right there with you, Reading ID. The power play was brutal tonight. Got to take more shots. Oh, that one, I think it was the last power play, the first minute of the last power play where, who was it that sent the pass across? I don't remember who it was that sent the pass across, but Eberle. You had the opportunity, just let it rip there. It was a perfect pass. It was McCann. McCann sends the pass across right through center ice to the other side to Eberle. Eberle's got the opportunity to launch a shot. Instead, he collects the puck and tries to pass it inside to whoever was playing the bumper there to make a play. I believe it was Yarncroak. And it was just like, oh no, dude, you got to know the goalie's moving laterally at that point. I believe it's still only a 2-0 game, so you can, this would be huge. Eberle, you got to take that shot there. Oh, that's, kind of, again, back to the stuff we used to talk about with the power play. Got to shoot the puck. And you got to control the puck. Those first couple power plays, like, it seemed like they were just, Winnipeg was at even strength or even had an extra guy at times, it seemed like. So you got to fix that too. Autumn, the best way to tank is to have bad goaltending and bad defense. Ron Francis's vision is coming true. Hashtag pain for Shane. I don't know that this was Ron Francis's vision, but if it is, he sure fooled everybody pretty good, and he's executing it well. At least the team is executing it well, if that was the plan. I will give you that there. Let's see. Superfly, they played terrible in their own zone and handed the puck to Winnipeg. I also don't get why our forwards are also passing the puck into our own zone while already at the blue line. Don't even get me started about the whole passing backwards, especially on the power play. You're trying to break it out of your own zone, get down the other way. Not really seeing a lot of pressure from the penalty kill, right? Because why would you? And the Kraken, always first guy to enter the neutral zone on a power play coming from their own zone will always pass it back to the last person. Why do that? It's like you're saying we don't want to enter the zone with speed and put you guys back on your heels and maybe make you uncomfortable. We want to make sure that you guys can see exactly what we're doing, and make sure you're all in position to try to stop us from gaining any advantage on this power play of ours. I don't understand that one, but the Kraken did it a lot tonight. Man, Gio looks like he hasn't played in weeks. That's from Ty. Yeah, certainly in that first period especially, you could tell he was getting back used to game speed and all that stuff. Alex, team was flatter than the state of Florida. It was, yeah, there was very few guys with some get up in this one. I agree with you there, Alex. Autumn, it's crazy how Hellebuyck and Grubauer are on effectively the same contract, and it's crazy the difference between the two. And then Autumn, Grubauer wasn't awful, but he's still nowhere near the player we need him to be. I'm gonna really defend Grubauer for this game because those goals, if Winnipeg is giving up those chances to the Kraken, the Kraken are scoring on at least two of those. Like, I don't care how good the goaltender is, when you give just point blank, right there in the slot, basically unguarded opportunities to NHL players, certainly guys like Kyle Connor, goals are going to be scored there. So I would peg all three of those goals on the defense, not on Grubauer at all. Jagar, why were they playing better without Eberle and Schwartz? It's a good question. Because on paper, that definitely shouldn't be the case, that's for sure. But it does kind of feel that way. The line certainly had a little bit more going at times without those guys. Wish I had an answer. I really do. And, it's also possible, again, any of these people, numerous people coming off of injuries and stuff, some of those injuries could be lingering and we just don't know. So, I'll throw that out there as, an excuse if you want to call it that, or as an explanation. But I will say that is something that is potentially going on. Autumn, Hackstall's got to do something to infuse some energy in the team at the start of games. My God, 1000% agree with you there. Team starts off slow every single night. I don't know what the deal is with that, but they just start off slow. And then, like, in this one, starting off the third period pretty slow. Like, I don't know what that was about. Like, you're down, you need to get going. Wasn't really the case. So I agree. Hackstall and the player leadership group needs to figure that one out. I think that's a team effort kind of thing. No pun intended, I guess, talking about that. Alex, expected goals was pretty even, but it felt like there were no chances they were gonna score. Yeah, there was a couple like kind of close-ish ones, or certainly times where you thought, hey, maybe we can get a tip, or maybe there's enough traffic in the way we can get something past him. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Again, Grubauer made plenty of good saves. It wasn't going to save those three super, super high danger chances. And those were the difference. We didn't really have high danger chances. We were trying to manufacture it. The Kraken were trying to play a little bit more in the slot and with speed and kind of come down the slot like that. But couldn't establish enough control in the offensive zone to really get it working in this one. I think that's the main takeaway from that. Joshua, feels like the start of the season all over again. Horrible power play, defensive breakdowns, puck watching, bad passing, bad bounces, bad puck luck, and just can't find the back of the net for nothing. I agree with you, Joshua. It does kind of feel like things are slipping back into some poor old habits. That's going to be, again, on the coaching staff to get guys to break out of that, to, stop that in its tracks if you can, and player leadership, right? Giordano, you're back. You got to step. You're captain. You got to step up and keep that from happening. Eberle, Schwartz, Larson, everybody's got an A, right? You guys all got to step up and try to keep that from happening from yourselves and everyone else in the lineup as well. Hellebuck was also unreal. It's from Alex. He's a really good goaltender. He's a really good goaltender. Um, let's see. Cameron, where is the fire in this team? So much puck watching, and seems everyone is waiting for someone else to make a play. Definitely felt that way in this one. Defense, a lot of puck watching in this one. Not a good night for the defense as a whole. And we even saw it from Adam Larson. Like I said, at kind of the jump of this, Larson's worst game for me. Took a bad, holding penalty. Didn't really need to be taking that holding penalty. Got away with a boarding penalty somewhere else. Was it the second goal? I think it was the first of the Kyle Connor ones. Larson's just way overplayed to the right side. Not sure why. That's like very uncharacteristic of him. He just felt frustrated and he felt a little slow, and there were definitely times where he was puck watching, and that's very, very unusual from him. We all know he's been the rock solid one. He's been the guy that you can count on when you absolutely need to. But we're seeing him start to take penalties last couple games. Don't know what that's about. I thought it was just a product of him trying to play a little bit more physical. But maybe there's something else there. And then in this one, just totally seemed off tonight. And really the whole defensive group looked off tonight, and it was just a bad show for them. Let's see. Gio takes too many shots from way outside. That's from JMG. Yeah, I'd like to see Gio walk some of those in, particularly the wrist shots he's going to take from way back there, because unless you've got substantial traffic or someone really in a spot to make a tip off of those, an NHL goalie's going to have those, basically all the time. Reading ID, you mentioned Larson. Does he have a history of taking unnecessary penalties, or is this a new hobby? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of him in Edmonton. I didn't watch a lot of him as he was developing in New Jersey either. I don't know if it's necessarily a thing. I do seem to remember some Edmonton Ducks or Edmonton Kings games that I would watch down here, and there were times that I think I saw Larson take some penalties that, were of the more physical variety. So I don't know if it's just one of those he plays with an edge, and right now that's catching up to him, and before maybe he was getting away with things. So I don't have 100% answer for you when it comes to that, but I will say that certainly in the last week, since that Edmonton game, he's playing a lot more physical, and he's doing some questionable stuff. And it's not even like he's taking penalties in situations where it's saving a goal. You know what I mean? Those are good penalties to take at times. He's taking penalties where it just doesn't really make sense to be taking penalties. You didn't need to do that. That holding penalty behind the net, there wasn't really a play there that, at least not that I remember or saw, that was going to happen by you not doing that. And just so everyone knows, right, the holding, he reached around, grabbed the guy's shoulder, and turned his body. It's going to get called every time. Larson knows that, being as experienced as he is. So I don't know. It's I wish I had a better answer for you, but I would say right now it's a hobby, and it's not a good hobby. Autumn, Kraken with a 55.7 in the money puck deserved to win O-meter. Oof. That's a rough one. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely stretches where it seemed like they were getting a lot more shots. They were getting traffic in front of Hellebuck. Couple chances at some tips. Hellebuck plays really solid, especially in butterfly. He stands up really, really tall. He's able to keep himself up and square. He's good. He doesn't he doesn't cheat off his post at all when guys break in towards the side. That's another thing that I think helps him out. A lot of goaltenders will maybe, there are plenty of times when, let's say, Alexiak earlier had one that I remember. Alexiak has it back at the blue line. Let me make sure I'm in frame here. Yeah, Alexiak had it back at the blue line. He does his normal, oh, I'm going to push in, and he likes to come wide. Hellebuck stayed square all the way, standing tall, making sure from, shoulder to hip, he was completely aligned with that post. A lot of goalies will kind of cheat because they're expecting the puck to go around and then maybe get passed out to someone on the other side, so they'll get ready to make their push across. He doesn't get ready to make his push across. He makes sure he is there until the puck has cleared past him. And you could tell Alexiak was hoping that maybe the shoulder would open because he's going to get down and get ready to be in a position to push off. And Hellebuck just stayed square that whole time and took all that away from him. And so that's what I guess I'd have to say there. Let's see. Let's see. Cool. You still can't overlook the terrible chances given up. Comparing contracts of guys signed at 22 and UFA makes no sense. Hellebuck would get at least 10 UFA. Okay, so that's all talking about the comparison between the two goalies from earlier. Joey, we look horrible. Definitely don't look good. I'll give you that one. Not a good showing for the Kraken tonight. Let's see. Superfly, on top of that, difference in quality of players also makes a difference. If you give the same kind of chances to the Kraken and Jets, you should expect them to score more given the quality on offense. You mean expect the Kraken to score more or the Jets to score more? Because I think the Kraken have better depth of scoring than the Jets. Jets definitely probably have a better higher end guys, though, in that department, which probably means things even out pretty good there. My least favorite play tonight, I think, was Gio on the power play, letting the the plane player just go deep on the power play and skating who knows where. I know the play you're talking about. That one was not good. Yeah, there was just lots of confusion out there on the power play by a lot of different people. Striatic, is Seattle good? Seattle is not good when they play like this. When they're starting games slow, giving away leads early, getting caught puck watching in their defensive zone. And I would say this about any team that does these things, right? Like, these are not, it's hard to win when you're going to, play poor or do all of these things. And if you can't score on the power play, if you're doing all those things wrong, I don't think that you can be called a good team. And so as long as Seattle is doing that, I would say no, Seattle's not playing good. They are not a good team. We saw that they are capable of not playing that way, and when they weren't, they were winning games and they were beating really good teams, and it looked good. Like, they were a good team. So it's complicated. They have the potential to be a good team. They're just not playing like it when they play the way they play tonight. That's for sure. Hunter, 3 stars and duds. I guess I'll give you guys mine, and then when RJ comes back or joins us later, you can give you his. 3 stars. I thought Grubauer played a really good game, despite everything. I loved Yanni Gord's hustle tonight and some of the stuff he was making happen. I thought that was really good. And then, Mason Appleton had a good first period. I liked him. Liked Donskoy again. What little time he's out there these days. He looks good. He's still waiting on that goal though. Duds, Larson, first and foremost for me. Didn't like the game he played at all. Probably give one to Gio too. Realistically, I would just say the whole defense. Like, no one on defense really stood out as playing great tonight for me. So, duds is just the defense for me for this one. Chris, any ideas on when Gulpin might be ready to come up from the Firebirds? No, I don't. I don't really have any ideas. As far as any of that stuff right now. Still waiting to see kind of how a lot of stuff shakes out with the Firebirds and all of that. So that's where I'm at there. Let's see. Hunter, hashtag free Fleury. Would like to see Fleury. Greg, who are your off-the-cuff trade candidates? Also, what do you think we get for them? Understand if this is too hard to answer in this form. Yeah, so we've talked off and on about this stuff, most recently kind of about Appleton. I could see guys like, guys that I've talked about struggling, like I talked about earlier with Yarncroke. If it just doesn't really seem like a fit, maybe you have to move somebody like Yarncroke. You could move someone like Appleton. I think as far as those kind of more depth forward guys that can make a difference for a contender, certainly at the trade deadline where GMs are a little bit more desperate, you're looking at getting like second round picks for them. I don't know that you could parlay too many guys that you'd want to lose for a first per se. But like, me and RJ talked about it with Appleton. You could get a second round pick for Mason Appleton if you decided to trade him. I don't think they should trade Appleton. I'm not sure they should really trade anybody right now, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you're meaning someone more like Lauzon that we've talked about wanting to be traded, I have no idea what his value would be seen as around the league right now because he's played pretty bad and his underlying numbers are pretty bad. So all the analytic departments probably aren't going to be too, on board with giving up much for him. So yeah, it's a little hard in something like this, Greg, but I think you're looking at kind of the depth forward guys, a Colin Blackwell or something maybe. If you just kind of pinpoint a depth guy that's not really working out, and you're trading for picks because odds are that's what the Kraken would be trading for, you're probably looking at a second as the return for one of those guys. Joshua, is it just me or has Susie and Dunn's game recently have you missing Lauzon just a bit? Joshua, I don't know. Susie wasn't great tonight. Dunn is, it's weird. Dunn is, I think, really stepped up recently. I mean, kind of some issues tonight and the last game, but I don't know. Lauzon has been playing well. I will say that. So maybe you're onto something there. RJ's ready to go, so I'm gonna quick hop off and add. Be right back, everybody. All right. Thanks for joining us, RJ. You got any immediate thoughts on this one?
Okay. Why can't I hear you? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? All right. Well, I'll just keep going then, and we'll see if I pop in for you.
I cannot hear you.
All right. I'll try restarting the call then real quick. Sorry, everybody. Going back to the loading RJ thing. All right, RJ, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes,
right,
we're good.
awesome.
I can hear you.
All right, you got quick thoughts on tonight?
It's just a tough one. I mean, the Jets are one of those teams. They're big, they're skilled, they can grind you down, and that's kind of what they did tonight. I mean, it was certainly different than the last game for the Kraken where, there was just, nothing going right. I think they had a few things. I think at the end of the day, it came down to the power play not being able to convert. I mean, in a close, tight game like this, when you get 5 power play opportunities, you just have to convert on one. That can make the difference in the game, and I think it did tonight.
Yeah, that's a big problem. And when you're gonna let guys just sit point blank in the slot and pick their corners in front of your goaltender, probably hard
Yeah,
to win in those situations too.
for sure.
Eric, so much hate going on social media. People need to stop with the Vegas expectations. Yeah, Vegas expectations probably, we knew those were going to be rough going into the season, and certainly during games like this, it's hard. Let's see. Geo is the most likely trade candidate. That's from Hunter. Yeah, we were just kind of talking about that. I probably agree at this point.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey all, I'm a Jets fan down in Portland. This is from Brian. By the way, everybody. Not Seattle's best tonight. Got to say, Tanev and Appleton are both missed in Winnipeg. Yeah, I mean, would have been fun to see one of them kind of really go off on this one. RJ, I thought Appleton had a good first period though.
Absolutely. And I mean, he had a few really close chances kind of throughout the game. He had that breakaway in the first. Did a great centering pass to Yanni Gord in the second, kind of batted one out of the air later in that shift. I thought he was buzzing tonight. I mean, I don't know if we've done the whole three stars thing yet, but, he'd be up there for me as one of the 3 stars. And as for Tanev, he was around a lot of offense in the first period, kind of, waned as the game went on, but, he brought what he usually brings. And also, it was clear, with the Winnipeg media being in here, that those 2 guys are certainly missed in Winnipeg. We're definitely eager to see how those 2 were doing.
Yeah. Real quick before we get to your 3 stars and 3 duds, because I already did mine earlier. Mideros with the super chat. Thank you so much. Headed to bed Central Standard Time. But thanks for the therapy session. Hopefully my tendency to hold a grudge won't last overnight. German gentleman gang. That is for sure. Grubauer with a good one tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the super chat.
Appreciate that. So yeah, real quick, if you want to give 3 stars, 3 duds.
Let's see. Appleton. Well, let's see. I'll order them later. 3 stars. Appleton, Grubauer, and I don't know.
I went with Gord.
Okay, yeah, Gord's a good one. Was Alexiak really caught on any of those goals? I mean, because I thought he was solid, at least, But yeah, let's go Gord. But yeah, let's go Appleton 1, Grubauer 2, Gord 3.
Okay, and duds.
3 duds. Vince Dunn has to be one of them for that breakdown going all the way to the other side of the ice. He had some good moments too, but Dunn's got to be one. Susie for sure. Probably he's number 1. And then, I don't know. Pick a forward who looked invisible tonight.
I mean, I basically gave it to the whole defense because I didn't think anybody back there played good. But I singled out Larson. I went off on Larson a little bit tonight.
Wow, really? Okay, I was surprised to hear that, but I say it's not completely undeserved.
Yeah, I mean, there was some rough stuff from him tonight. Hunter, my expectations this season were pretty high coming into the year, but I realized Vegas was truly an anomaly, especially after our 6-game skid. Yeah, I mean, that was just the stars aligned for Vegas that year, that is for sure. Mm-hmm. That being said, there's still time.
Yeah, and it's one thing to, say, well, not Vegas, but it's another to, maybe expect to kind of be in the playoff hunt as the season, heads into February, March, at least not be out of it. I think that's a reasonable expectation.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, super excited to have a hockey team. Love these guys. Been waiting since '93, but would the Kraken have been better off with Bruce Boudreau? This team is not clicking.
I don't think so. I know he's got a good start in Vancouver, but no, I still don't think so. I'll stand by that. Things had to get pretty bad there in Vancouver before, you have someone like that. I think they're just so pleased that, there's some signs of change at this point. Mm-hmm. And it just would have been a totally different situation in Seattle.
Yeah, and I was going to say, this is what Bruce Boudreau excels at, coming in mid-season, just kind of rallying guys, and then having a good regular season finish.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Then just disappearing into the wind after that. Let's see. Nicholas, do the Jets play a different style than recent teams we played? The boys looked lost on what they wanted to do.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, they're a hard, heavy team, as Giordano said after the game, and they're a little bit different than some of the recent opponents. That in just the size and the way they can body you out, and the goaltending as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Hellebuck is so solid and steady in net. Kraken haven't seen that for a little while, since maybe the last time they got shut out with Vasilevsky there.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that might be the big difference.
Yeah, and their forwards are aggressive, but not like in the kind of, oh, we're just gonna rush you as fast as possible like the Penguins kind of do. Their forwards are aggressive at getting into that slot area where they were successful tonight and kind of bunching some stuff up there and confusing your defense, and we saw that. And it the boys looking lost. I do think that there was some elements to that, especially in their own zone. And Superfly, the Jets are a way more physical team, especially on offense, makes it harder to push them out of their spots. Agree with that take too. Striatic, Larson takes a lot of penalties. Unnecessary is subjective. That is true. Because we had that conversation earlier. Last couple games, Larson has been, pretty familiar to that penalty box.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess I would just have no confidence the Kraken would finish the chances the Jets had, but that doesn't make it Grubauer's fault. True. Greg, Jets are a huge team. They are big. That's for sure. I mean, think of some of those forwards compared to our defenders. Like, we know the defensemen on the Kraken are big dudes, and those forwards didn't exactly look, they looked kind of on par with them at times. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. JMG heard rumors that Gio could get traded back to Calgary. I mean,
I think it'd be a good fit.
It would. They're in a contending spot right now, so anything could happen. That's for sure. Let's see. I thought Donato looked decent tonight. Big issue with the Kraken is the Jets' neutral zone pressure, and there's too much depth to be this sloppy in their own end or the neutral zone. That's from Samuel. I agree with that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, things were rough, especially. Oh my gosh, RJ, why do they decide that they always have to be passing backwards when coming out of their own zone on a power play? What's up with that from the Kraken? Just everybody go bunch up at the zone, let the defense get nice and comfortable and figure out what they want to do, then we'll slowly approach them.
Yeah, no speed to back them up. Yeah, a few things on the power play tonight that were just kind of baffling to me.
Yeah. Let's see. And did we seem to be falling down a lot, mainly in the second period? That's from Nicholas. I didn't notice that.
I didn't. Although one thing I noticed is the puck seemed to be bouncing a lot. To me, I don't know. It looked like the puck was bouncing around. No one could settle it. It was hopping over sticks. Passes would be, good passes, and then just, the guy receiving it couldn't corral it. Mm-hmm. Seemed to be a lot more on the Kraken side than on the Jets side. But that seemed to be an issue tonight.
Yeah. Samuel, I always liked the Jets' size and speed. Kind of shocked it was just a 3-0 game. I mean, Grubauer made some good saves in this one. If it wasn't for those...
Yeah, the Jets could have easily blown it open a lot sooner than they did.
Yeah, I mean, they basically had to have the highest quality chances you could ever hope for in the NHL to score tonight. Unfortunately, They got that 3 times.
Yeah.
Hunter, that missed high stick call that led to the goal made me furious. That one was brutal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I just flat out missed it. And he got Shorts got kind of tripped up right after that, too. Yeah. So a rough shift for him. That was a really tough one, but that happens, and you kind of have to score to make that like a relevant conversation. When you get shut out, you're down 2-0, like doesn't.
You still went 0 for 5 on the power play, like. Yeah,
exactly. You think the power play was really going to score there?
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough, but like that does come into it at some point. Gotta be realistic. Superfly back to being last place in the Pacific Division and 15th place in the Western Conference. I don't like it, RJ.
Not like it either. Oh boy.
I think though, the Penguins game we talked about last time, right? Some weird bounces kind of got you out of it early. This one though, team just played bad. I'm hoping that they take it serious now. You know what I mean? Like I could see them kind of blowing off that last one, saying, "Well, it was just weird. Let's move forward." This though, not so.
Yeah,
much.
Although what's weird is they didn't really blow off that last one. I mean, they had one of the most intense practices that they've had all season. The very next day, lots of battle drills, lots of I wasn't there to see it. I was still day after the booster, so I didn't see it. But from everything I heard, super intense practice. It looked like they were taking it seriously. And then this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they knew that they were gonna need that playing Winnipeg, and then it just didn't quite show up.
Although they certainly didn't come out nearly as flat as the last game. I think there's, as Hackstall said after the game, I think he said like a whole different universe or something comparing the two games, which I do agree with.
Yeah, they were different games, that's for sure. The problems were different. Autumn, Larson took the Lauzon role of being the worst defenseman. I mean, he certainly took on the role of watching plays develop without taking part in them.
Yeah. Okay, one quick question for you, Dylan. On that second goal, because, Dunn kind of moves all the way over, commits. He's playing lefty. He goes all the way to the right. Do you think he gave Larson enough time that Larson basically should have adjusted, moved over to the middle, and got Connor there?
I'm going to say
yes.
Or
was that one on Dunn? What do you think?
I'm going to say yes, just because we've seen Larson do that before.
Okay.
Like you know what I mean? And
I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, clearly you have both guys playing the right side of the ice. That can't happen.
Yeah.
But whose fault is this really? Yes, Dunn moves over to the right. Does Larson have a realistic expectation that he can get over there and shift? So you think yes?
I think of anybody on the Kraken, I think you can expect that from Larson.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just on it. Ty certainly seems to think so. Man, the Larson hate makes me scratch my head. People in here must not have played hockey, as he's the most poised defender we have. The guy is pretty solid, minus the goofy penalties. I've been singing Larson's praises all season long. He's been by far and away my favorite Kraken player. I've loved everything he's done. Don't get this one wrong. Tonight, Ty, I just think that it was a bad night from him, and that happens.
Yep. I mean, everyone, every sport has some bad days.
Yeah.
Adam Larson just had himself a bad day.
Yeah, and I mean, he played such a fantastic game in that Edmonton win, less than a week ago, right? Like, that game was fantastic from him. So good. And, he had to, kind of help out Lauzon for a lot of the season too. That was rough, but he, managed to stay looking good through all that. So, no, definitely not hating on Larson, Ty, from that perspective. Penalties were bad tonight, and I just thought he had a bad game tonight. Samuel, defensively, they're young, so some of that was expected, but man, they have a lot of work to do. Their structure is just not great at all. They're either lights out or they're an expansion team. Definitely agree with that one.
Yeah.
What's up with playing well against top-tier opponents and then duds against everyone else? Anybody explain that?
That one is hard to explain. That's something that you only really know when you get inside the heads of the players.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is causing them to not start games, to just forget that the game starts. The first 10 minutes count.
They came out so flat tonight.
Yeah.
So flat.
And then they came out in the third flat. It was just weird.
Yeah, to start the third, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Kyle Connor looks like an extra in a Wild West film. He's also good at hockey. That is true, Four Horsemen. I like that one. Gio, especially if we retain, should get us a first rounder at the deadline. Potentially, yeah. How was that Larson hit in the first not boarding? That's from Four Horsemen. I have no idea. That was boarding.
Yeah, no, that should have been boarding. That should have been a boarding call. And yeah, I mean, you look at the missed high stick. I guess it kind of evens up there.
Yeah. Samuel also agreeing could see Calgary or a cup contender going after Gio. The Rangers were interested earlier, according to rumors. I remember that too. I think they'd still be interested.
Yep.
Alex thinking the ship sailed on Calgary, but Edmonton could be interested. All right, here's one for you, RJ, from Joshua. RJ, do the Kraken have a suggestion box at practice or press conferences? If so, could you do me a favor? Ask them to practice passing, how to not puck watch, and just overall responsible defensive play.
Yeah, okay, so they do not have a suggestion box at practice. That's a good idea, though. I'll suggest that they get a suggestion. I'll drop it in the... Oh, wait. Yeah, see? I can't even suggest that they get one.
Oh, man. So, that's the problem.
How do we do this?
It's a real...
Yep. So, yeah. But, I mean, they don't work on passing a ton, unless it's kind of in transition, And as far as puck watching, it's hard to not... I don't know. It's hard to simulate, the game-like type situations. But, yeah, it's something you certainly need to kind of work on coaching wise. And that's really watching game film.
Yeah,
Like that's where you really want to attack that.
yeah, for sure. Four Horsemen like Donato again tonight in limited time, always near the net, creating chances. Agree. I like his power forward
Yep.
style. Don't see enough of it these days, I think. Um, Love Donato. Often him and Tanev are the only ones showing any fire. That's from Greg. I'd throw Donskoy into that mix as a guy that's kind of there 100% every shift.
Yeah, agreed.
And
And
as
again
Four
tonight.
Horsemen said, and Craig and Gord, those
Yep,
guys too.
that's another one.
Let's see. People like the suggestion box comment. Four Horsemen didn't feel much was on Grubauer tonight. Lots of open shots. He did what he could. Agreed.
Yeah, this one's not on Grubauer at all.
Yeah, Tanev is missed in Pittsburgh. That's from Samuel. I would definitely agree with that one. Uh, let's see. Anybody else laugh when Wenberg turned the breakaway into a pass? That's from Four Horsemen. You laugh, you cry. It's a wide range of emotions.
Yeah, but we were all prepared for it, I feel like, at some level.
Mm-hmm. Chris, good D creates goals. I would agree with that. I mean, if you shut down chances early on, you don't give the Jets 90 seconds in your own zone, you can get the puck moving the other way, create some momentum instead of needing line changes like they did a lot tonight. Josh was asking RJ if you've got a hashtag mascot watch report for the group.
Let's see, mascot watch. Again, I'm thinking it might be that Oilers game that we talked about on the podcast a little bit. Just a few various things. It seems like they're doing a little bit more in the way of rehearsals for things. Also, they had a new video, like kind of a whole new, pre-game setup today. So that might hint that it's coming soon, rather than at the end of the month. Also seen some, weird kind of, little not like props, but just some things down in the tunnel, that you'd have to kind of put the pieces together. But yeah, I imagine it coming soon.
Sorry, Afra's...
As for what it is, no clue. No one's talking.
Yeah, sorry, Afra heard something outside.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's see. Vegas being that good is also what made it really hard for us. Teams were left with a pretty bad taste in their mouth and worked really hard to avoid this with Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, is she all right? Yeah, I mean, Vegas, it's tough. It kind of puts that on some of the other teams, even if it isn't realistic.
Yeah, and other GMs learned a lot from that situation. That didn't help us out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. The worst, Superfly. The worst about our power play tonight was that the Jets were actually one of the worst PK teams in the league, and we still had trouble even getting a shot off. I was shocked when I saw that their PK was at 66 point something percent.
Second worst in the NHL. I figured, this is their chance to get it back on track. If you had told me the Kraken have 5 power plays tonight, they're winning this game.
Yeah, for sure. Didn't happen. Sergeant Pickles just stopping in, guys. Wasn't able to watch any of this game, but sounds like it's worth skipping.
Yeah, might not want to go watch the full length replay.
Yeah, you can definitely skip up through the highlights maybe. Let's see. This is from Hockey Mom. What did Hackstall say about the game?
I mean, Hackstall first because he was comparing it to the the last one. He said it's different. We gave an effort tonight. So it was that he praised a lot of the Jets and what they did. Said Hellebuck had an amazing game. He's a great goalie. Said they're a big, fast team and then kind of come at you in waves. Really praised what the Jets did, their puck pressure, especially on the Kraken's power play.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we'll have to go back and look at it to see specifically what went wrong for the power play. But like first things first, you got to credit their effort on the PK. And I heard from someone in the Winnipeg media that the Jets had a meeting this morning to discuss, let's make our PK better. We got to fix this. Okay. It's a second worst in the league unit. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, generally that'll light a fire under guys. That's for sure. Sergeant Pickles, mental health is important. I don't need that kind of negativity going into a Friday. Like that one. Like Greg, though, ECH postgame show still undefeated. Appreciate that one. Striatic, isn't Zoidberg the official mascot now?
until there is a new official mascot, I'm ready to just treat it as that. If you follow us on Twitter, you saw that video I posted of, they had the live band today, which I thought was really cool.
Hmm.
And you got Zoidberg dancing in the background too. He was just grooving to it all before the game. So yeah, he's got season tickets. He's there at every game. Like, what commitment to the bit, seriously. You'd think at some point you might just like want to watch the game, without having the suit on. But
No, not Zoidberg.
yeah,
No,
so
I absolutely love it. Any chance I get to be reminded about Futurama, I will 1,000% take.
yeah.
I'm gonna get down to the bottom, and then I'm gonna do something on the whiteboard I promised to do earlier.
Oh,
Let's see.
cool.
Four Horsemen, excited for more Patreon podcasts. Those are great too. Yes, definitely look forward to that. And everybody, for the 36 of you still with us, the Beniers updated video comes out tomorrow, so
Oh, nice.
that's gonna be fun. Everybody, keep a lookout for that one. Stratic Afra is saying I'll be the mascot. Afra could definitely be the mascot. I'd be okay
Oh,
with
for
that.
sure.
I would assume I'd get to go to the games with her. I think that's how it would work.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what our agent can arrange, but
That's
I think you should be able to negotiate that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Ethan's Tech World, ouchie, that just sucks. The Jets played like me in the NHL video game. Jets didn't back off of the puck. If they missed, they kept their energy at 100. Guess you gotta, give them props for that. It's
Sounds like you
true.
play Shell the right way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sounds like you definitely play like RJ there, which more often than I'd like to admit is the right way. Stratic, he wears the suit the whole game.
Yes, the whole game. Does
That's
not take it off.
See, that's impressive. And then Four Horsemen with the Beniers video hype. I love it. So yeah, really quick, before we end the stream here, so I talked about how the Kraken, the few times they had, kind of a sustained pressure in the offensive zone, they kind of shifted things up. We were used to seeing them a lot, playing, kind of cycling through around the corner section the last, week or so, or 2 weeks. Tonight, what was happening a lot is they would have somebody kind of net front. That's going to be this person. Let me try to get the glare off of this. And then they'd have someone in the corner and someone playing up like this. And what they would do is a lot of times they would cycle one person coming through the slot and one person being in the corner. They were really trying to get speed coming through the slot and getting shots there. If that shot doesn't work, both of these people would work to collect the puck, send it to the person in the corner who takes it up like this. Now one of these two shifts back to the corner, and then this person essentially gets to the blue line, cycles back down, and comes up the slot. That was really what their whole game plan was. They were just going to continually have someone come through, get a shot off. If that doesn't work, gets collected, sent to this person who comes out and does it again while the other person cycles back around to that spot. So little different from what we've been seeing. I like them trying to utilize the slot more. I felt like that's been missing from their game really all season. Interesting new look, just never could get enough, time, shots at doing it. So we'll see if
Right.
against Columbus they can get that going a little bit more. But I think it must be something they worked on because I saw it for both the Gord line and the Wenberg line. So that tells me that there's something there. It wasn't just like a one line kind of figuring something out.
Yeah, good observation there, Dylan.
Yes, and then Joshua will make this the last comment of the night. Joshua, the mascot totally would need a handler, Dylan, just like Tiama the Hawk. Not sure I spelled that right. For the Seahawks. Yes, I could do that job. It seems like a great job.
You're the only one who could do that job.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, rough one. Thanks everybody for joining us, who joined us tonight. I know that one was brutal. Definitely hope we can move on from this one on Saturday against Columbus, kind of put this one behind us. And, hopefully they can come back after, a not great week so far, RJ.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
but right back at it. Right back at it. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll have another chance real soon.
Yeah. All right. Seattle, real quick, down at the bottom here. Any idea if anyone on the roster will be going to the Olympics?
So we did, I did write an article about that around the start of the season. Not too much has changed. Grubauer for sure. And in the organization, Alex True for sure. And then some others, especially look at the Swedes that maybe have a chance. Adam Larsson might be one of them.
Yeah. So you can check out that on the website. Link to that's down in the description below. You can look for that article if you want more Seattle Sasquatch. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you all on Saturday after Columbus.